Subscribe to the FocusTalk TV YouTube channel. Follow at FocusTalk TV on Instagram and Twitter, and join in on the conversation on the FocusTalk TV Facebook page. And in the meantime, remember to stay focused. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, history, music, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things right here in the Inglewood community, throughout the Chicagoland area, as well as the entire United States. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Joining me in the studio today is Miss Monique Harvey, who is a communication student here at WKKC, and Monique is my co-host. Monique, how are you today?
I'm good, Mr. Snipe. How are you?
I am well. Thank you for being here and being a part of Focus Talk. Monique, our very special guest today is Mr. Jonathan Banks. Mr. Banks, how are you?
I'm fantastic and honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for accepting my invitation and being a part of Focus Talk. Now, give me some information as to who you are and what you do.
Well, I am a proud dad. I am a happily married father of two sons. My wife and I, Jacinta, we have a senior and a sophomore. Both are doing exceptionally well. Both are achieving at very high levels. And people oftentimes would ask me how we are impacting our sons to achieve at very high levels. And so we are having fun sharing with families from around the Chicagoland area and around the country.
Okay. All right. Now, what do you attribute your children, your sons' success to?
Well, number one, I do believe in marrying up. So my wife is a tremendous person. We met at Purdue University, both of us engineering undergrads. Both of us went on to get our MBA. But really one of the key characteristics of helping young people be engaged and focused on their academic success and life success really is engagement with them. Some of the most impactful times that we've had with our sons have been organic. Just being present during homework time, being present during times where they're reading and inspiring them, explaining to them the opportunities that lie ahead of them and the why behind trying to achieve their best for their family, for our church, and for this nation. I believe this nation needs prepared young people to inspire them and show them what's possible.
Now, that why has come up several times. We were talking about it even before the show started in the foyer.
Sure.
And you mentioned that you have to be able to find out your child's why.
Yes.
Unpack that for me.
Well, as parents, oftentimes we keep our children in a box as far as our relationship. When they're smaller, we have to tell them the what. Do this, don't do that, and there's very little back and forth, even though one of the first questions any young child will ask is why. When we stick to the what and miss the why, our children begin to disengage cognitively, they disengage with their heart, and they find it difficult to understand why they're trying to give 110% each and every day academically, whether it's with opportunities, internships, job opportunities. But when you get to the why, when you unlock that question for them, then instead of dragging them forward, trying to do their homework, trying to inspire them to achieve at their best, they end up dragging you. There are often times that because my wife and I have spent time with our sons, explaining to them how academic success opens up doors of academic and financial resource that they want to achieve at a very high level. It may be bedtime, it may be late in the evening, and we're trying to encourage them to go to bed. They'll ask us, can I just finish this one more assignment? Can I do this extra credit assignment? And how do you tell your young person, your student, no when they're trying to achieve their best academically?
Now, let me go back just for a moment. You say that we stick to the what instead of the why?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you give me a little more information?
Sure.
Possibly even an example.
Sure. The what is, for prior generations, oftentimes they would say, stay in school and stay out of trouble. Now, because we were close enough to them in proximity, that was enough information to keep most of us on a good track. Today, there are a million distractions, from our smart devices to being in school to having to worry about safety to parents having to work outside of the home. There are a million distractions. So the what begins to take backseat to all of these electronic devices and the opportunities. They want to connect with their friends. They want to have relevant experiences. But when you explain the why, when you explain the vision for their life, when you explain what doors of opportunity and resource academic success opens, they then get a vision for their life and they become motivated to achieve the greater goal. Because if the only goal is to get good grades, then once they achieve those good grades, they find there's not a lot of satisfaction there. But when they see the doors open academically, when they see the college interest, when they see other adults giving them a level of respect and inviting them to the table to ask for their opinions, to ask for their insight into solving some of today's problems, then they begin to engage themselves. The what turns them into almost mindless zombies that want to just play games on their smartphones and stay on social media. The why awakens their conscience and awakens their gifts inside them and lets them apply them in ways that this world has never even seen, ways that we need to solve today's problems.
Now, Mr. Banks, I hear you say that you and your wife sit down and go over your homework with your children. What about those who didn't have parents to go over homework with them and they were doing everything on their own? What would you say about that?
Well, one of the concepts that we unpack in the book is the concept of P3. And of course, P stands for preparation. Preparation precedes possibilities. It opens up doors that when you're prepared, the world will actually seek you out. Preparation precedes performance. We're looking for our young people not to just make it through their homework, but to be proficient. That's the difference between C's and A's, low B's and high A's. And then of course, preparation also precedes prosperity. There are some parents that just can't be there during the homework time process. When you have time with your student, with your grandchild, with your niece, or with your nephew, and you explain to them the doors that are going to open up when they achieve at school, that they will actually have college resources, scholarship opportunities, great job opportunities, and fun assignments made available to them, they begin to find favor with teachers. Teachers are asked to do so many things. When students are prepared in the classroom, teachers actually respond with greater attention, insight, and affirmation. That triggers in the student a sense of self-worth and a sense of accomplishment that then becomes addictive, and they then want to achieve academically. So if you can get them on a path, I very rarely have to tell my students, my sons, to do their homework because they understand what it's going to unlock. So whether my wife and I are there or we're not, they understand not only it's their responsibility, but it's their opportunity. They want to achieve and they want to do their best.
Now, who inspired you to your path that you're on now?
Great question. It's a kind of a long story. We'll keep it short. I lost my father when I was 13 years old. My parents actually had already separated, and my mother did a fantastic job of doing her best to inspire myself and my sister. Because of that, I was able to achieve usually low B's in most of my classes, and I was fortunate enough to have honors classes offered to me. But when I got to Purdue University, and when I saw that there was greater opportunity there, and when my professors, and especially those in the minority engineering program at Purdue, sewed into me and they really challenged me and provided resources, something in me really triggered. And I had a drive to help other people achieve academically. And probably what it was a tutorial program that we ran on the weekends where we invited young people from the community, elementary school, middle school, and high school, and we tutored them. And that is when the light just came on for me, where I had the opportunity to help young people achieve at a higher level. I began to try to unlock strategies, principles, practices that would help them excel and achieve. Then having our sons be in school systems where sometimes they were favorable environments, sometimes they were challenging. And so we wanted them to have every opportunity and understand that learning begins at home. At Purdue, in engineering courses, in business courses, it's never the professor's job to teach you the material. It's your job to learn it. It's their job to teach you how to apply it. Well, let's not wait till college to train our young people with those concepts, birth the why of academic and life excellence in them, and watch them soar.
Okay. I am fascinated by the entire concept because I'm thinking, is it that easy based on what's going on in our society right now with young people, where they are, even with the situation where the young man killed his parents?
Yes.
Because, we don't know why, but during their visit to come pick him up for spring break. And so it seems as if, though, if it was that easy, that wouldn't everyone do it?
I have a few concepts that I share with my family, and it's kind of a dry humor, but of course it's not easy, but the important thing is it's not hard. When you tell yourself something is hard, you disengage. You make a conscious disconnection with your heart, and you give yourself an out. Just because something's not easy doesn't mean it's hard. So instilling the why in our young people, in students, even birthing the why in parents. Of course, it takes repetition. Very rarely do we learn something the first time. On our way to the studio this evening, my younger son drove on the highway for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Well, between now and by the time he gets his full license, he's gonna go on the highway hundreds of times, because it's never about accomplishing a goal one time. One time gets the goal done, but we're not looking for done with our young people. We're looking for proficiency. Proficiency is what separates the A students and the C students or lower. Most of our students are smart enough that when a teacher is explaining something on a classroom chalkboard or smartboard, they can follow along, but they know they're in trouble when they go home and try to do their homework and they can't replicate success at home. Well, if they can't do that after one time, why should we believe that our young people are going to get the why? They're going to understand the concepts and the reason why they're applying themselves, why they're sacrificing, why they are postponing gratification, because they know that greater is coming. When you plant seeds today, you can have the harvest tomorrow. So by no means is this easy, but it's not hard. It takes a mindset where this becomes really the culture of your home, the culture of your school, the culture of your institution, where you begin to ask questions that spark the why. So instead of telling them what to do, you ask questions like, how can I help you be successful tonight in finishing your homework? Do you have any tests this week that you would like help preparing for? Then it begins to give them a mindset to look ahead. In our home, you never start studying the night before a test. That's garbage, and we're gonna have a serious conversation if that's ever the case. In our household, you stay on top of your syllabi, and you make sure that if you have a test coming, you start studying 3 nights in advance. The first night, you do the study sheet, whatever the review sheet the teacher gives you, but that's only good enough to get a C. The teacher's never gonna even give you everything. They wanna make sure that you're not gonna fail the test and make them look bad in front of their department head. So the first night, you do the review sheet. The second night before the test, you study all of the notes in that chapter or what's covered on that test. And you make sure that you go back and cover some of the concepts that you may not have done in a while, because they're gonna be on the test. You wanna make sure that they're fresh in your mind. Then the night before the exam, you make sure that you work the hardest problems in that chapter. The teacher may have assigned you 1 through 10, do the even or odd, go way down there. Find question 22, find question 24. Questions that are harder than anyone in the class, and make sure that you can handle those. That way when the test comes the next time, easy peasy. You're flying through, you're confident, you're getting the extra credit right, and then, like I said, the teacher then begins to lean in. unconsciously or subconsciously, you begin to become kind of the teacher's pet and favorite. That way, when they're grading your material next time, they know you're one of their best students. So they may not even scrutinize you to the nth degree. Regardless, you've proven yourself, you've become proficient, you're now confident, you're walking in victory, and then you've got a sort of an academic swag that others recognize. They begin to kind of give you some labels. They may call you a nerd. They may, call you teacher's pet. But trust me, nerds run the world. Nerds have big bank accounts. Nerds impact destiny. You're looking at a nerd right now.
I agree with you there. President Obama is a nerd.
Nerds
Bill
write
Gates
paychecks.
is a nerd.
That's right. They don't just get paychecks, they sign paychecks.
Okay. All right. So overall, the plan for our young people is not as difficult as it may seem.
It really isn't. What it takes is early and often engagement. It's about exposure. So for both of our sons, they were exposed early to challenging material. Even from the time they were in the bathtub. They sell those floatable letters that stick on the side of the bathtub. Well, part of bathtub time was learning time. So we would have fun. We would do phonics on the bathtub wall and just make bathtub time a fun learning experience. Well, like most parents, my wife and I keep fairly busy schedules. So with our kids in tow, we would always make sure that if they were in 3rd grade, we carried around 4th grade workbooks for math and for reading. And they didn't know they were doing anything out of the ordinary. They actually enjoyed some of the challenges. Now, of course, we had fun too. We brought games with us. We brought challenges. We brought toys. We brought treats. But we always made sure to have some enrichment time there so that they would begin to be confident academically, and then they would begin to identify with that confidence. School was never drudgery. Now, of course, sometimes they're a little tired. They've had full weekends. They are going to competitions, whether it's jazz competitions or academic competitions. We go out to concerts as families. We worship together. We have fun at birthday parties. So their schedules are typically kind of full, but they always know they've got to do what they have to do so they then can do what they want to do. But early engagement, it's key. And nowadays, there are so many free resources. You can go to the library. You can go on online resources like Khan Academy. And these are free, self-paced learning opportunities that unlock the spark and then begin through parents, caregivers, mentors, explain the why. Explain the reason that I have this job today is because when the opportunity presented itself, I was prepared. And as I mentioned earlier, preparation unlocks prosperity, preparation unlocks possibilities, and preparation unlocks prosperity and productivity for our young people so they can go farther than we did with the same resources.
Mr. Banks, you are a wealth of information. I appreciate your passion, your dedication, your interest in not only our young people as a whole, but with the issues that they're going through to be able to get to the root of it so that they can get to the next level productively.
Yes.
We appreciate you and we thank you so very much for being here. Please know that the door here at Focus Talk is always open.
Tremendous.
You don't have to knock, just come on through.
Thank you kindly.
Yes, sir. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station, 89.3 WKKC.
You're watching Focus Talk TV
with your host, Dennis Snipe.
I love it.
Subscribe to the Focus Talk TV YouTube channel. Follow at Focus Talk TV on Instagram and Twitter, and join in on the conversation on the Focus Talk TV Facebook page. And in the meantime, remember to stay focused.